So it has been quite a while since I released my last Enclave video. 8 months ago. So I decided, you know what? I think it's time to record a new Fallout Enclave video, but on New Vegas this time. But man, this video, before I get started with it, was kind of a disaster to try and do, but I did get it through. The game crashed multiple times. So yeah. Without a further ado, I hope you enjoyed this. This video did take a lot of effort. And finally, I don't want to keep yapping forever, but to add on, this video literally almost got deleted because my PC almost corrupted. But with that, let's just get into the challenge rules. So basically, I will only be using Enclave issued armor sets and also laser, plasma, and like any tech sword weapons, so like the Ripper for the melee. And basically, I will only be using these sorts of things, and I'll just be completing the Enclave storyline with the For the Enclave mod. So, with that being said, let's just get into it. So of course, I started with Doc Mitchell and spoke to him about, you know, getting shot in the head. So with this, I made my character name, which, of course, I came up with the, you know, best of names for this. For my stats, I decided to choose luck and perception. Perception is kind of an uncommon one, just for the energy weapons, because you get more skills in it. So for my skills, obviously, I'm going to choose energy weapons, speech, and repair. Repair because I'm going to need to repair a lot of energy weapons because they often, you know, end up damaged when you get them. Now for my traits, I'm going to do Trigger Discipline and Skilled. I know Trigger Discipline isn't a great skill, but I chose it. Now here, I decided, basically, to start this mod, you need to be level 10, and instead of spending like 5-ish hours, maybe a couple hours, getting to level 10, I'm just going to be giving myself level 10 so I don't have to go all around, and just so I can actually start the mod and just run through it, see what it's all about. So that's basically what's going to be going on here. I'm going to be just putting up my skills and various stats, and I mainly wanted to specialize in like speech, energy, weapons, and repair, medicine. All the very basics, because I didn't know if there was going to be a lot of speech checks in this mod or what, because I'm going in this mod blind, basically with just no frame of reference for what's going to happen. So I'm very excited to see what's in the mod, but basically I got up to 100 energy weapons through this and picked a bunch of very good perks. I mainly just started with like Swift Learner, Educated, and Toughness, a lot of baseline skills just so I can end up like basically having not too crazy, and also just something that would basically fit the character for the Enclave. So I got to my last level of level 10 and ended it with strong back just to carry more equipment, because I would probably need to carry a lot. And I went up to the Good Spring Cemetery, and this is where we ended up meeting the Enclave. So the Enclave came in on this big vertebrate and landed. So out came a couple Enclave soldiers, and they approached me and basically said, "Hey, you want to come to our base?" And I said, you know, sure. And so basically we had this little cutscene, I guess you could call it, where I hopped in the back of the chopper with the Tesla troopers. Really cool armor set. I think this is in the base game, but I'm not too sure. I think it's the hidden armor set. I'm not sure about that. Could be different, or it could be modded in. So in the bunker, I ran through the area and talked to a couple of these guys. Basically, they were just telling me what the Enclave was all about, and like, oh, they're not that bad now. You know, we changed since Fallout 3. Which, I mean, come on. They're the Enclave. I don't think they've changed that much. So I had to talk to the Enclave General, and he basically said, "Welcome to the Enclave." I said, "Cool, man." Then I had to go to the Quartermaster to get my power armor. And, yeah, it's pretty sick. So, you get free power armor training here, so That's a really good addition, so I'm glad I didn't have to go through the Brotherhood questline to get power armor training. So overall, I would say that is a really good change, so I don't have to go through basically all of that. So for the first thing that the general told me to do, I had to go talk to the air marshal in the hangar, and basically he said, hey man, we got to get a few things for the vertebrate. So basically I have to get 2 black boxes, and then I have to go to the vertebrate refueling station. So the black boxes were very simple. It was a lot of running. So the first one was right outside Mojave Outpost. I killed a couple feral ghouls and realized right then I don't have a lot of ammo. I have like a couple microfusion cells and energy cells, but I will need a refuel on some ammo soon. And then the next one was actually very close by. It was near Hidden Valley, so I have to go through Hidden Valley towards Black Mountain. And inside, I remembered, you know, of course I need ammo, so these Brotherhood Paladins have a lot of microfusion cells and also have laser rifles, which I can use. So I picked those up and repaired them to get a actually pretty good rifle to start. Now, I didn't know how good it was because I haven't used laser rifles with higher energy weapons in a while. So after grabbing the second black box, I realized, you know, these things are actually pretty good. Like, when I was running back to the bunker, I could actually kill the Cazadors, you know, pretty quickly when I was in this area. So, yeah, really good weapon. But when I got from the bunker, I decided to make a pit stop over through New Vegas because I had to go through this area to get to the vertebrate refueling station. So I realized the gun runners didn't really have ammo, so I just decided, you know what, I'll come back and go to the Silver Rush to get some actual energy ammo because they sell the most. So when I got over here, I used a key card that I was given and got access to the vertebrate refueling station. Now this area had a lot of robots, and overall it was not too big of a deal because I was given this crazy gauze rifle when they took me into the Enclave. So overall, I would say this mod kind of needs to fix on its power scaling, but I think it was pretty fun to just destroy everything. So that was really nice. But when I got through the next area, I just had to kill some laser turrets, and with that I had killed everything. And this is where we got the thing I was looking for. Basically, inside of this cabinet there was vertebrate parts, and it's apparently just some tiny part of a vertebrate that I need. And I headed back, and basically I had to talk to the air marshal and say, hey man, I got the black box and I got the parts. And so that whole part was done with the quest. So that's the first part done. So I reported the general. He said, good job. Now for the next one is we basically have to find a stealth suit. So like the Fallout 3 Chinese stealth suit, we have to find it and get it. So before I went to go do that, because I knew I was gonna have to kill a lot of things, I mean, it's just guaranteed. So I stopped by the Silver Rush to grab some energy cells, and I'm not gonna lie, they did not sell a lot. I thought they would sell way more than they do. They really don't. So on the way to the next area, I found some fiends, and this is where I got a weapon that, I'm just gonna say it, is very underrated. The laser RCW is, in my opinion, a really good weapon. So in the next area, I killed this Deathclaw on the way there, and yeah, the armor I'm wearing, once again, like 30 DT, very good armor set. But when I got to the EPA research facility, this area, man, was very weird. Basically, everything's going right. I have to just go through this area to look for the whereabouts of where the stealth suit could be. So first, I'm just walking through the area. Everything seems fine, right? But when I'm walking through here, there will just be like random like ghoul sounds. I didn't know why. There's just random ghoul sounds that happen, and it kept like, I was like, oh, what's going on? What's going on? So while I was going through here, that was on my mind. But I thought, okay, whatever. So first, I grabbed this server key card, and then I get to the server room, of course, and then I open up the terminal that I need. Basically, this whole area, there's no quest markers. I don't know if my game was bugged, or if that's just how it's supposed to be. I assume it's how it's supposed to be, but I just found everything I needed to do, and then got to the next area. And this was basically just me running down a long hallway, and more ghoul sounds. Then this is where I ended up activating the power, and this is where I realized what the ghoul sounds were. I think these ghouls were just not spawned in, but somehow making sounds, and there was like, I'm not gonna lie, like at least 10, 20 of these guys. There was, I'll just say this, there was a lot of these guys, and I did not have the ammo for these guys. So I ended up having to run away from them, run around, and got away from them. But the next area I had to go through after turning the power off was honestly not that bad, because the laser RCW came in clutch, because this weapon was like a 3-tap to the head, and because of the fire rate, I was just mowing down these ghouls. Like, I'm telling you, if I had more like energy cells and this weapon was upgraded better, I would have been able to kill him a lot quicker. But I came across this operative, basically, that had the stealth suit I needed. And with this Gauss rifle, this did take me a couple of times. So, with this Gauss rifle and VATS, I was able to kill him, like, in a couple shots. He was not that big of a deal. So, I got the broken armor, and then the whole mission was pretty much over. But on the way outside, something weird happened, you know. There were these other Enclave-looking troops, but they weren't really, like, friendly. So, they just immediately decided to attack me, and I'm not gonna lie, I did not have enough ammo in the Gauss rifle to kill them, so I had to switch to the laser pistol, and this armor was worth quite a lot of money. So, yeah, I killed one. I could not kill the others that spawned, because I think it's like a rival Enclave, basically. And I went back to the general and had a report to him about what happened, but I did get the stealth suit, so everything was good on that front. But after that, I realized I'm gonna need a lot more ammo, because these guys, yeah, they do quite a lot of damage and are also very tanky. So I went to the quartermaster in the Enclave and sold a lot of my weapons, but also bought a plasma defender, because the plasma defender is a very, very good, like, pistol type. I would say it's better than the laser pistol, but I think it's yeah, just a pretty good weapon. So I went to go talk to the Enclave doctor. Now, I don't know if Fallout lore this good, but I didn't know that the Enclave, like, allowed ghouls to be in their ranks. But I may be mistaken, it may just be this mod's lore or something. But that was just odd to me at the beginning. I may just be, like, thinking of the Brotherhood or something, but yeah. Bit weird. I didn't know that about the Enclave lore. So, I basically had to go to this power plant and just turn on some generators for her. So, pretty easy quest that the doctor gave me. I then headed over to the Silver Rush and bought some ammo. Went back to the doctor and told her everything was good. So with that, I completed the quest. And then I got a message, basically, that just said the general needed me. I don't know why I needed to wait for a message from a guy in here to tell me that the general needed me. I could have just gone and talked to him. But I guess this man really wanted to give me a message. Now, I also did end up getting a stealth suit, which I will be able to use since it was issued to me by the Enclave. So, very, very good find. I also did get a lot of ammo, because in the footlockers around the Enclave, a lot of ammo is kept there. So that was a really big score and a really good thing to find. So, basically, I was told to go to this place near Camp Searchlight. On the way, we met Oliver Swanwick, and as you know, every time you meet him, we gotta have a really good talk with him. So, after speaking with him, I went over to Camp Searchlight, basically near an outpost from the rival Enclave, and I had to speak to the lieutenant there. He told me basically there was a lot of turrets and a lot of enemy Enclave members, so along there I had to sneak and use my Gauss rifle to kill them. Now, I don't know how this weapon is very, like, sneaky, but I don't know. Apparently I was able to kill most of these guys without the other members hearing. But the only time they heard is when I went up behind one guy and killed him with the Ripper. But after that, I just killed the last guy with the Gauss rifle, and yeah, it was pretty easy. And to end off the encounter, I just had to shoot this laser turret. With that, I did get a level up, which I decided to dump points into medicine, just to, you know, basically level up medicine to heal more. And then for my perk point, I decided it was probably best if I do Scrounger, because I've had kind of ammo shortages this entire time, so I just kind of need ammo. I then made a quick pit stop before going further into the mission. I went to the New Vegas Medical Clinic to talk to the doctor there and just grab some more stim packs as always. Now after that, on the way to the other Enclave's base, we basically were told that we gotta be very sneaky and we gotta destroy some turrets and kill some other guys so that the others don't know. So basically there's gonna be a big fight here, and I just gotta destroy some defenses so vertebrates can land in and clear it out. Now on the way there, I did not know like this armor would be this good. It doesn't like cover that much like the Enclave power armor does, but if I just crouched, I basically become invisible. So very, very good armor. And with that, I just went over and powered down the turret systems so the other troops could land in. And I got told by the guy in the radio everything was good. And after that, I just ended up sneaking. You know, sneaking through this big battlefield, it really feels, really feels similar. You know, I can't quite say what it makes me remember, but I don't know, man. So after I walked through this big battlefield, I just watched the absolute destruction. Like, there was multiple enemies from both sides fighting, and all I did was just walked my way to this tower. When I got up there, there was no guy that I was looking for, but I realized, you know, when I came in the building, apparently he must have walked down, because when I got down, he was just sitting right there. And I ended up killing him, and apparently that was the end of it. I just had to kill this one officer for the entire of the enemy Enclave to just be like, you know what, not our problem. So the air marshal said, good job, basically, and I needed to go and just wait a couple days, then I would report for another mission. So that is then what I did. I basically just went back to base after 3 days and talked to the general, and he said, hey man, I got another task for you, man. Are you ready? And of course, I am always ready and up for a new task. So this task that he put me with, I would go with the operative Killian, and we would go on a mission to basically find another Enclave bunker that was just had like a bunch of laser turrets, robots and stuff, and it was in this cliffside. So in this tunnel, I went with Killian, and then I basically told him to go to this terminal and start getting us in the bunker. And my whole job was basically to guard him, because there was a couple robots, nothing too big of a deal, until what I thought was going to be a big deal when a sentry bot came out. Now, I was a little surprised that the Gauss rifle one-shot him, but apparently I shouldn't have been, because the Gauss rifle was really good. It did bonus damage against robots and power armor, so yeah, it wasn't really a surprise that it did one-shot him. So the next area was this one little area right before the control room. And in this area, there was a lot more sentry bots, but again, they were not a big deal. I was able to one-shot them with the Gauss rifle and kill the turrets in the meantime. So all I did was just clear out the final area, and yeah, this part of the mission was honestly a piece of cake, pretty easy. But the best thing I found here had nothing to do with any reward I got from it, anything. It had to do with the ammo I found. I found so much ammo just in these areas, like, that was probably the best reward I could have asked for. So, with everything done, I spoke to Killian, and we just wrapped this area up. But before I left, we had to actually power up the area and get this whole bunker set up. Now, to do that, I had to go to this area, like, underneath the control room, and I had to turn on coolant valves. I had to basically start powering this area up. So this wasn't too difficult. There was only really one sentry bot, but I went to these different levers basically and just turned them on. The only thing I really had to do was just me looking around for some of the stuff. Now after that was done, I had to go back and report my success. But on the way there, the entirety of the bunker was under attack by the other Enclave. So we had to fight our way inside. So basically I grabbed out the Gauss rifle and we just started like basically walking through these guys. They were honestly not that big of a deal. I was just able to shoot them pretty easily. Honestly, I was starting to one-tap them probably because I was getting leveled up a bit. But with this gun, yeah, I was doing considerable damage. So all I did was just basically walked through this area, and yeah, some of these like more elite troops did take a lot more like bullets and like energy cells to like get through, but all in all, it was honestly not hard. So I spoke to the general about what happened and my success, and I also leveled up from this, so that was good. But besides from that, we basically just talked about our next move and what to do after this. So from the level up, I decided to put a bunch of points into things like more medicine because I just needed to heal more and I would get the max out of my stim packs. And I put the rest in repair. I went to go talk to Scully, and this guy gave me my next assignment, which I needed to do. Now, this is basically where I had to go talk to the Brotherhood and the NCR. Now, this part, it's gonna be kind of weird. So, the Brotherhood comes up to the Enclave and says, "Hey guys, we need that bunker." And I don't know what they thought when we just said, "Yeah, we're not gonna give you the Enclave bunker." They're like, "Yeah, here's 3 paladins against the entire Enclave army." And yeah, it went about as well as you think. You know, the scribes just walking by thinking they're doing so good. I genuinely, I don't know what they thought. I don't know what they thought. Same thing with the NCR.
Has been a significant threat to the
Oh, these are
NCR.
terrible offers, dude.
We can't take any chance.
So it went about as well as you thought for the NCR. Like I just don't get these people. So after going through the actual like worst offers from both the Brotherhood and NCR, I completed that quest. You know, just terrible offers from both factions. That's all I can really say. So after that, I went to go speak with the general, basically on what we should do next. And we took a quick vertebrate ride to our next location. This, which ended up being our final fight. So all of us geared up and listened to the general, and basically we had to storm this like complex where the enemy Enclave forces were, and we had to crush them. So the first part was pretty easy. All of these Enclave guys could easily just be like a guard against just by me like hiding behind some cover, because they just used a lot of like lasers, and I was able to kill them pretty easily with the Gauss rifle because of the power armor bonus. So that first part, very easy. I spoke to the general and he gave me a detonator. So with this, we had to blow open a wall with it and infiltrate basically kind of like, I would say it's similar to the Hoover Dam, but kind of different. It's just another, like, facility, warehouse, power plant, any sort of thing like that. So I used, or at least tried to use, my laser RCW and realized this weapon is just not going to cut it against these guys. I mean, they have power armor, so yeah, a laser weapon is not going to do much against an entire suit of power armor. I should just stick to the Gauss rifle. So that's what I ended up doing. I then spoke to the general, and we went for our final push into the actual big building, which was heavily guarded by more elite troopers. But I was able to push in with the rest of the Enclave forces, and a lot of explosions happened. And a lot of ammo was spent, but I was able to push through this part. After making our way through the final enemies on the outside, we made our way inside where there were more elite troopers waiting for us. But with help from, once again, the trusty Gauss rifle, I made short work of them and was able to push deeper into the complex. And this is where there was just this random Enclave guy who just decided to run right by me. But, you know, I gotta level up in the middle of it, so, you know, at this point, I just dumped the rest of my points because it didn't really matter too much, so I just put them all in repair, and then for my perk, I decided to pick toughness. And now, this is where we see, I guess, Frank Horgan of this mod, because it's an entire super mutant behemoth put in, like, power armor, and now, when I tried to fight him, he got stuck, basically, because he was running after me, but when I went to this, like, hallway, he kind of got stuck and couldn't hit me too much. But when he did hit me, he did do quite a lot of damage, but I was able to kill him pretty easily. I then met the general, and he gave this whole master plan about how he was gonna, like, detonate this area with explosives, and all I did was run to the detonator and just, like, turned it off. Really great plan. And then there was a couple more power armor soldiers on the way to find the general. But when I got to him, I just pulled out the Gatling laser. And for a guy with no power armor, he can withstand quite a few shots with a Gatling laser. But this is when I got his unique armor and unique weapon, which I will show off. It is a pretty cool unique weapon. So the Kami Hunter is basically just a unique 44 Magnum with its own little pull-out sound and also a put-away sound. So, with that, I went to go talk to the general. Now, I don't know why it's a black screen here. I think it just bugged, but that was the end of the quest line. So with that, that's the end of the Enclave for Fallout New Vegas. Thank you for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed, and as always, peace.